Well, hello there and welcome to the Sean Sturrock Show. Sincerely appreciate you if you're checking us out today. As always, I'm so excited to do these interviews. I'm always out there looking for some of the best agents in the country, and we definitely have come across one here, you guys. Fhonda is probably in the top, I'm going to guess, Fhonda, top 1%, top 2% of agents across the United States on what she's doing for production. And I'm hoping she can pour a lot of value into you guys today and what you can do to help grow your business. So we're very, very excited about this. As I've said before, we're putting these out every Wednesday morning. So hopefully that's what this is this morning. I think they're going out at 8 a.m. Mountain Time, and that's when this will be going out as well. But let's go ahead and kickstart and get started here with Fhonda and learn about this young lady. So let's start off right now, Fhonda. Share with the group kind of anything you want to know about your background, personally, whatever you'd like, and kind of what got you into real estate, and maybe take us up to kind of just the first handful of years, and we'll kind of go back and forth. But what was it like? What got you into real estate? Take us back to the very beginning, if you wouldn't mind, just for a couple minutes.
I've always done something on the side, you know, Sean, of any job that I had, and I really loved the sales business. So that's kind of what went hand in hand. One day I just called my husband. I was in law school, and I called my husband and I said, hey, this is going to be a very boring career. You know, and he was like, okay, what are you telling me here? I said, I'd like to quit this law school. I'd like to quit criminal justice. And I was working on my master's and going to law school at night. And I said, I'd like to quit all this. And he said, well, what are you going to do? And I said, sell makeup. So when I started selling makeup, I seen the entrepreneurial part of it. And then I just seen, one day I said, I think I'm going to get my real estate license. What do you think about that? And he said, I think you'd be good at it. I love sales, but I've always put people before mascara, before the skincare. You know, I always wanted to please them. So my motto is selling real estate one friendship at a time. And I always say people before property. So just a love for sales, a love for helping people has really driven me to the real estate industry.
And let everybody know, when did you get into the industry of real estate? What year?
December of 2018.
Okay. Yeah. So it's only been about 7 years. And guys, she's closing in on 100 transactions a year. I'll just let the cat out of the bag. And so I'm like you, I want to learn about how she did this, right? Because so many of us out there struggle just to get 8, 10, 12, 15, 20 transactions a year. Here's someone doing almost 100. And I know you have a goal, I heard, to do 200.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Absolutely. My personal goal is, as I always say, I want to do 101. And then I did start building a team in 2023. We've got that team rocking and rolling. People are closing things. You know, there's 4 or 5 closings with them now a week, along with what I personally do. So, Sean, I think really the best advice I can give is people live in houses. I don't listen to the market, and I don't worry about what my neighbor's doing. And I think that's a big thing, doing mindset and being with like the Freedom Team, you, Jay Nelson, where we have cheerleaders and you have the training. If you need to get better at listings, you plug into the listings. They're all right there. You know, all the materials there. There's resource in the library. With our company, we have resource library. With y'all, we have everything on YouTube. It's just very streamlined with Freedom. So anytime that I hit a roadblock or someone said, hey, do you deal with short sales? I just get in there and say, okay, train me about short sales. Yeah. And I think that's really what it's about. Do I lie to them? No. I say, hey, this is my first short sale, but it won't be my last. So let's hit to it, because I don't want to act like I know it all. You know, that's the wrong place to be. If you think you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah. It's funny that you're talking about that. And to me, you're just reminding me, you know, the other gentleman I always bring up, Jeff. Jeff Bell is in our Freedom Team. He's just a doer. He's going to do whatever it takes to get it done. And I've heard him and Jay and different people literally try to talk an agent who's thinking about getting the real estate license. They almost try to talk them out of it by just being so raw and upfront. It really takes. Yeah. And what I've learned, you know, from building this and talking and interviewing agents, man, well, that first 2 years, boy, it's buckled down. But if you can get after it and implement it, put all the right systems, tools, and get around the right environment, the right group of people. You being a big producer, probably hard for you, other than where we're at now, to find 5 agents that are bigger than you. I know you're at the brokerage where that's possible. Let's dig into some of this right now. We've come up with 6 with Fhonda that I think is going to help every one of you watching this get tremendous value. So number 1, selling over 85 homes a year. That's a massive achievement, Fhonda. It really is. I mean, that's like, drop the mic, bow down. I mean, all of us are like, oh my gosh.
Thank
what
you.
Systems, habits, or strategies have helped you maintain that level of production while still developing top tier service to your clients?
So what I seen when I joined this industry is nobody got back with their clients. Nobody followed up.
They just weren't following up.
Follow up and telling everyone that I'm in real estate, making that part of the spiel. When I first started, I took 20 postcards at a time. I would mail out those 20. I would call my spirit and say, hey, did you get my postcard? Just mailing out the postcard wasn't good enough. I wanted them to hear my warm voice, how excited I was. And it might have helped a little when my cousin, who was, I think, my first call, maybe my second, I said, hey, I got my real estate license. I was working on that. She said, I've got 200,000 sitting in the bank. Find me something. So I think that to do this production, you've got to have the right mindset first.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you've got to balance your calendar. I think that time blocking is essential to success. I'm very good at I can do up to 8 or 9 clients a day, not showings, not listings, clients a day. And it's all because I run my calendar. Like I'm on here with you. This was on my calendar. It was important to me. It's important to you. It's important to the Freedom team, because we have to have hope. As a circle of industry, we have to have hope. 2024, I heard, was a hard year. I did not see that in my business. We doubled in volume. We doubled in units. We doubled in from 2023. So,
okay. First of all, let's all stop there for a minute. While we all know the stats, right, for 2024, unreal. 70% of the agents, right, left the industry in 24, right? We know in multiple brokerages, the same amount of brokerages agents were leaving brokerages in numbers last year. And most agents I talked to, sales were down 20, 30, some as high as 50 to 60% from the prior year. You doubled yours. So everybody, yes, please pay close attention. The first thing you just said is kind of interesting. 20 cards will get mailed out a day, but then you go above and beyond, let me pick up the phone and call all 20. Just that one little tidbit could help. And I am a huge believer and component of time blocking. If it's not on my calendar, it's probably not going to get done. So just 2 little, I'm sure everybody's probably familiar with that, but just take each one of these and are you doing them, right? So here's number 2. This is all about leadership and building Hatmaker Homes, which I know is your team. So as the owner and team leader of Hatmaker Homes, what has been the biggest lessons you have learned about leading a successful real estate team? And then kind of a second question behind it will be, how do you balance personal production with growing your team?
So that is a little difficult. My husband was helping me. He got sick and had to stop, and we continued this. And he got sick in 2024. So we've been very blessed to keep our business and double it and all of that. So that's a blessing. The thing that I want to say about the team is I'm the leader. I've got to give them something to follow because I'm in the lead. So that's the one thing. I never ask anything of my team that I don't do myself. I give them a daily task for social media. I think that social media is very important. We have a schedule for open houses, and no one is left behind on open houses. You've got to put in your time. So I think that just having a schedule, and we meet in the mornings before everybody else gets up, Sean. Before everybody gets up, we have a little rally. We talk about the problems. So I really think as a leader, taking a vested interest in your team and giving them something to follow really helps them. I haven't stepped out of production yet. Don't want to step out of production. Mm-hmm. I love when the client finds their home. I mean, it makes me teary-eyed now to think of it. So I don't want to leave production. I also They don't compete with the leads with us. We don't take the leads. I'm all referral business for my personal, and I feed them leads.
Okay.
And
If somebody, Fhonda, because if you want to say exactly, I know you're there in Tennessee, but if you've got, just for us to break down to the group here, but go to the next 4 questions, is we've kind of got a 2 things happening right here that Fonda's talking about. She's got a traditional team.
yes.
And we also have, we'll call it an organization or a group. Touch on just for a minute for anybody out there that might be watching that would want to know what's the primary difference. And if somebody wanted to even reach out to Fhonda, if you're in her local market, and or if you just want to talk to her about this other part of her team, share with them kind of what the difference are between the two, and how do you keep them, or do you keep them separate when you're coaching these 2 different groups?
I do keep them separate with the daily monitoring, because as a team leader, you can put different rules in place that you can't put on an independent contractor, right? And we're all independent contractors. So, but as a team leader, you can have team standards and it be mandatory. If I didn't make it mandatory, I might be on there by myself. So.
So when somebody joins your team where you're giving them value, it's mandatory they show up to certain meetings.
Right. And that's the team. That's the traditional team where I'm taking a cut from their closings. If I bring them the lead, I'm using different lead sources, Google, AI, things like that to bring in leads, Zillow, Realtor.com, wherever I can. Anytime I bring a new team member on, I pull in another 100 leads a year so that they're not competing for the same amount of leads. So if I bring someone new to my team, I make sure that I bring that amount of leads in. That's kind of what I close. That's kind of my standard. They'll close, 1 out of 10 maybe.
Yeah.
But that's what I do. That's a standard team. And then I have what I call an organization. And that's a bunch of business partners that I have with the model that I'm a part of with my brokerage. We do like what is called a rev share. And every time they close, the company on their dime pays me a little portion. So we have, I believe we are at 78 across the United States. I think we're in 6 different states now. So, and that's just working with people that I know. Talking to people when I go on vacation. Sean, I'll step out. Me and Randy will step out and we'll go talk to a few people in the area, because I'm very interested in real estate and the different market trends of other places. Because you never know, when you fall in love with a place on vacation, do I want to start a business here too? So that's the biggest difference. So my team is traditional. Now I do an award ceremony for the whole group. We do a Christmas party, the whole group. We do a big training, bi-weekly training all together. But the daily nugget training, I call it Hatmaker Hustle. That's just the traditional team. and how I keep that separate is I keep an open line of communication, and I do not try to micromanage them not to speak to each other. We run on a group that is just business, and then we have what we call the Nut House, where we put funny memes in there and we become a family. So
Very good.
Yeah.
Bring a lot of love and energy and fun to the whole group. I love it. And
Right.
real quick, everybody, she's talking about revenue shares. So we'll let the cat out of the bag, and you may know this, but there's 4 companies I'm aware of right now that are offering similar things right now. eXp Realty kind of broke the mold back about 13 years ago, right, with stock, production, and rev share. And now there's Epic and Real and LPT. These are all great companies, guys. We're just wanting to just put out as much value as we can. Fonda's a part of eXp Freedom Team, thank God. And we within here's where we want to go with this, though. If we can intrigue anyone, eXp is phenomenal, and those other 3 companies. All I've heard is good things about all of them for the most part. Within eXp, here's what we're beginning to learn, Fhonda, and you know this. We're creating groups within the eXp Realty. So we created a group called the Freedom Team. We wanted to have that much more intimacy, where we have Zooms 4 days a week, same time, same Zoom link. A couple of them are all about production and helping you grow your production. And the other 2 are all about attraction for those who want to create a passive income and get beyond their own local market and maybe open up all the borders across the country, if not across multiple countries. And that's kind of what we're talking about. So she's taken it to a whole nother level now with almost 80 people in your group across 6 states. Yeah. Whereas prior to eXp, all you could have done is staying right there in your local market and built your traditional team. Now you got both. And I'm sure that's adding quite a bit of extra revenue coming in the door.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it's always good to be like, oh, wow, and celebrate them, because when they close in Indianapolis or Louisiana or Mississippi, I'm like, wow. And I can congratulate them. That's what I love. We are like a collaborative group, and we do rah. And then, but at the same time, we add value to each other through these trainings, through Freedom Team. I know that y'all got a library of stuff. You just sent me a lot on the new AI, and I've been digging over that the last week. And I'm going to say I needed a worksheet for a listing, and I just got onto AI. Boom, boom, there it was, and that was from the training, the very first one. I was like, wow, the first video saved me.
Have you only watched one of the 8, the first one?
No. I've watched a few of them. Yes.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's like,
I know.
You want everybody to go, oh my gosh, have you taken the time to learn this? It'll make your business so much easier, and the amount of time it'll save you once you get these tools and understand how to utilize them. And that's what I'm teaching.
Yeah, it's going to help me. It's going to help my assistant. It's going to help. We're adding in a listing coordinator right now. We got 3 full-time employees. We got a personal assistant of my driver, and then we also have a TC. So we're going to add in a listing TC just so that I can free up some more time. I really like being with people. I don't like being stuck behind the computer. Someone else can do that. I can review it. It can go out.
Yeah. And there's a little tidbit for all you guys right there. Everybody probably has heard a lot of this stuff. It's not like we're going to wow you with some incredible new information, but are you implementing this? But you just hit one of them that I'm always dear to my heart is, figure out what you make per year and divide that down by the amount of hours and just figure out what you make per hour. Let's just hypothetically say it's $50 an hour. Anything you have in your life, you don't have to do this, but if you really want to grow your business, how can you get more leverage? You're going to get leverage by learning how to outsource anything that's not making you at least $50 an hour. Outsource it to somebody. I just got off a Zoom earlier with that lady who hit 7 figures. They have a tutor that come in and tutors their kids. They have someone else do their laundry. Someone goes and buys their groceries. All they do is, like you said, they deal with people, the money-making activities, and you begin to leverage and outsource the rest. And it sounds like you're starting to nail that. So congrats. All right.
Thank you.
A few more questions here. The power of eXp Realty and the Freedom Team. How has being a part of this Freedom Team here at eXp impacted your business? And what specific tools, collaborations, or opportunities have helped you grow and succeed?
So I think that a good CRM, I never knew the importance of that until I really started following you and the Freedom Team. And I was like, okay, I've just been putting them on an Avery label, doing it. And now we have them in systems where an email drops, on Valentine's. I don't feel like I have to text. That's the one thing that I will say is the confidence that being part of eXp and the Freedom Team, it gives me confidence that, like I said, if I want to do a short sale or if I'm working with a 1031 exchange, I don't feel alone. Because one, I can reach out to the people that went before me, that blazed the trail, but you're always going to find some training. So if you want to be the best listing agent, go into the archives and get that training out. Where you put attention, I'm a firm believer in wherever you put attention in your life, it's going to grow. So. And I think it's about mindset, knowing that you're at the right place. Once I got here, it felt like family. Every time you speak, Sean, I want to join again. If
I wasn't here and I would come and join you. And I'm serious about that. So thank you.
Yes, sir. So I think that knowing you're in the right place and knowing that you're hitching your wagon to the right horse, because it's just a platform. I have made Hatmaker Homes bigger than eXp to me, bigger than the Freedom Team to me. You've got to make what you're doing bigger and use them as a platform, use them as a support system. And I think that's what I've gotten really good at in the last 2 years.
Yeah, you've definitely built up a brand. Hat makers everywhere. I see you everywhere. So congrats. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank
I
you.
want to plant one seed with everybody. This is a great story and testimony. I don't know if you've heard this, but bring it up, Jeff, again. We've got, we do Zooms, you guys, Monday through Thursday. Tuesday is what we call, one of them is called our Get More Transactions Tuesday morning training that we do every single week. We have what we call they're usually an icon agent. These are people like Fhonda that are generally doing 30 transactions or greater, 7-8 million in production or greater, somewhere around those numbers. Well, Jeff, I don't know if you heard him tell this story. He's told it about 5 times over the last year and a half. He's the moderator who helps bring in the icon agents on Tuesday, right? Jeff and Kathy, they interview, not really interview, they bring them on and then they go and teach whatever it is. Well, Jeff says this multiple times. He goes, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been in real estate since the year 2000, 25 years. And if I wasn't one of the moderators on Tuesday, I probably wouldn't be here. Meaning, he goes, if I had 10 things to do today, this would probably be number 11. He goes, nothing against it. I've been in real estate 20 something years and I feel like I know most of what I need to do. And I would just go do that stuff. And then he goes, but because I'm the moderator, I've had to be here 50 out of 52 weeks of the year. But 1 hour a week is all Jeff attends on these Tuesdays. He and his wife, Lane, that are both realtors, they'll go implement. He goes, almost every single time he'll get a nugget or two he's never heard of, even though he's a 20-year veteran, big producer. He'll take that nugget or two, tell his wife about it, they implement it. Fhonda, the last 3 years he's been the moderator, every single year they add 12 to 15 additional transactions by simply attending a 1 hour webinar a week and implementing the new things he learns. That's mind-boggling to me when I hear that story. And then there's still people in our group that don't attend the Tuesdays. And yet and yet they're dying. They're over here trying to figure out how to get more production. And if they took 1 hour a week, you just found out from a guy who added he added an extra 150 grand a year the last 3 years straight by attending one. So can't tell you enough that wherever you're at, plug in, especially if it's bigger agents than you and they're teaching you, they're opening up their vault. Man, get yourself time block every week where you're continuing to grow and have that poured into you. So we definitely have that here. And that's been a massive, massive advancement for all of us.
Well, to kind of parallel with what you've said about Jeff, as being one of those speakers, I loved how they interviewed me to ask me if I would do that training, because they said, what is your strongest suit? So I was telling them, what systems do you use and things like that. So I was telling them where I'm stronger at, so they knew where to fit me, Sean. And I love that. I thought that was good. I think that when you ask people, what is your strong suit? And then what went above and beyond that, she said, well, what's your weakness, Fhonda? Because I have a weakness. Everybody has a strong and a weak.
Yeah.
So mine is letting go. I just can't let go of people. I'm like, hey, I almost become too pressurized.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. All right, let's jump here. We got 3 more. We'll go through quickly, you guys. Number 4, advice for agents who want to level up. If you could give one piece of advice to an agent who's doing, let's say, 10 to 15 deals a year, but they want to hit the next level, maybe 50 deals a year, what would that be?
I would say plugging into the trainings and doing something different. I always say that my past clients are my cheering squad. I'm still, I will hide Easter eggs, put a sign in the yard, you've been egged every Easter. I do 10 Easter eggs per child. I go from house to house. I have the Easter Bunny, my son, AKA Easter Bunny, in the truck, and I text them, hey, the Easter Bunny's out here. We'll be here for 5 minutes. Me and my husband hide the eggs. So that way, when they're videoing those eggs being hidden, it's Randy and I literally sitting the eggs down. Can you believe that someone with, I love that part of the business. And so that's kind of what I think. It's make sure that whatever you hear on the trainings, whether that's do a pumpkin patch, whether that's do a movie night for your clients, you stay in contact with them. Even if it got a little hairy, be the hero, be the bigger person, and I really, really believe that was the missing gap in this area. I think that's why I was able to just come in here and dominate this market, is because people would close and they'd be like, John, who? They would never get in contact with them again. They would think that them just knowing them and using them once. No, People have access to tons of information. Make sure that your face is everywhere.
Speaking of
Get
that,
good at
Fhonda,
branding.
speaking of that, I don't know if have you ever heard Sean Corbett train, also part of the Cleveland team? Did you see the two he just did? He just did his second one on. He does no cold call, nothing. All he does is work his database. And now it took him to build up his database to 300, but he went through his training. The second, I didn't get to see the second one. I watched the first webinar. The second one, everybody said was incredible. He said, if you've got a database of 300 potential clients, some have used you, some haven't, but you have a database. He walks you through in a two different trainings, an hour each, of exactly what he does for his database. He goes, if you do these things I'm teaching you right now, you should average at least 40 transactions for every 300 people in your database.
Wow.
He works 35 hours a week. He flips 4 to 5 houses a year. He's got rental properties. He runs a team like yours. He's got a rev share group, and he cuts his phone off at 4 o'clock when he goes to pick up his kids. Doesn't work evenings, doesn't work weekends, and everybody's going, so you got to hear this. So we're going to bring him back on to go, how did you design this? How did you get your clients or potential clients even to agree that they can't reach you after hours? He's got it all figured out. He's a part of the Freedom Team, and he's coming to our group now and train. But these last two on how to work your database, he gives you all the different things he does, the different little sites and apps he uses, and take some time to set it up. But guys, what if you could follow exactly what he said in 2 solid hours, set it all up, and you looked up in another 12, 24 months, and you're doing 30, 40 plus transactions by working your database the right way.
That's what resonated with me. I've seen the first training he done. I have not seen the second one because my clients are at 300 now. They have been, I've done way more than 300 deals. We're probably at 550 in 6 years. But so my clients are right at 300. So that resonated with me when he said that, because I have more than that in my database, of course. Mm-hmm. But just past clients, it really resonated with me. And I thought, wow, just to be there in 6 years, to know how incredible that could be, just by keeping them and doing the steps that he shared.
Yeah,
I think that's incredible. And it is about systems, because he does say that he cuts his phone off. I could never do that, but I'm a grandmother, not a mother. So
why don't we say this for anybody listening? Hit either one of us up right now. You can find us, DM us. We've got I can put the phone numbers up here if we need to. But anyway, if you want those trainings, we'll give them to you for free. Sean Corbett has both of them. We have both webinars. Let us give you that for free. We want this to have value driven. So let's jump to the next one here. 5. You personally sell, obviously, already 85 houses a year, which, again, incredible volume, Fhonda, really is. What systems and strategies have you put in place to maintain that level of production while ensuring a great client experience?
So that is one thing that I pride myself on. I'm always scaling and making it better for the clients. I'm a very good listener, a great hand holder. And I think that bringing in a personal assistant so she could keep me organized and I could give them 100% Fhonda. So I do a lot of social media. They rah me there. They're the biggest cheerleaders I got. And it's beautiful because I cheer them on too in their lives. And my assistant is trained to watch that social media. If someone's animal passes, she mails them out a beautiful picture frame or an endearing card. So I really think it's about people. I'm a step above. When you see one house, on the second house, going to the third house, I'm handing you a water. In the summertime, I've got sunblock with me when we're out, either at a listing or I think that I really just, what's going to make me comfortable. That's what I think. What would I like to see? I give kids, I've got a treasure box for the kids, Sean. I've got coloring pages. I've got moving day book that if there's a couple with kids and they're going to the next house with me, I've got a moving day book. I'll say, hey, go ahead and read this to them. Get them ready for what we're doing and why we're looking
Great
at it.
idea. Guys, those are awesome little tidbits. You said something, I think, of that little, I don't know if you call it a cliche. What do you call it when treat others the way you'd like to be treated?
Yeah.
So stop and think, man, if someone was going to show me a house, what are all the things that I'd be like, wow, that was very thoughtful. Well, water is very simple by the third house water. I love the idea of the coloring books, different little ideas. So if you're watching this, these are little things, but all these little things are going to add up. How did she get to almost 100 homes? She's very cares about people, and she thought through what all could I do to make this an amazing experience for this client. So Fhonda, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And the systems that I use, honestly, are I really just have Skylar, and we started my CRM. Literally, I didn't even need to know that CRM, but I'll tell you how I done it, because I want other people to know how that I've decided, okay, it's time for a full-time personal assistant that I pay a salary to. And I put her salary into a checking account the year before and never touched it. Me and Randy knew that we could afford that. It never hurt us. It actually, when she come on, she grew us. I film all those videos one day. One day we'll go to houses in the evening. We'll film in the morning at our house, the fun stuff that we do. I'm adding in training. I'm going to do that at night when Randy's settled in with the dogs. So we do film, and one day I change my shirt.
Yeah.
That's all I do.
I'm starting to do the same thing. I'm just, guys, and I'm sure those that are watching this again, if you're not doing video, cannot stress it enough. Everybody that I know that are big producers like Fhonda, they've become pretty big on social media, and they had to start somewhere. You guys, I was the same way. That wasn't but 6 months ago for me, Fhonda, to really start doing videos on a weekly basis. And I had that whole thing, you're a little uncomfortable, don't look good, don't sound good. Oh, I said, and everybody's now learning, just be real, be you, just be genuine, be raw. And people are going to like you because of you. There may be some people who don't mesh with your personality. That's all right.
That's okay.
Yeah. Out there. Yeah. So videos, guys, where it's at. And we'll obviously continue to have a lot more that we can share with you on that. I'll plant one seed also. If you would like, we have a full-blown YouTube training from beginning to end with one of the gentlemen on our team who started it in January of 23, you guys. Very first year he started doing video. Very uncomfortable, walks you through it all, but we have a training program put together. First year, Fhonda, Andy, you know what I'm talking about. I won't give his last name so I didn't get hounded. Andy did $5 million in production his first year, but here's what I want everybody to know. He started in January of 23 doing 2 videos a week. 2 weeks. It took him 5 months, Fhonda, to get his first phone call from a buyer. 7 months for his first closing. And I paused there because how many people out there would have probably thrown in the towel? I've been doing this for 6 months, still haven't closed. You know what? I got to try something else. 7 months, he gets his first closing. Next 5 months of 2023, 5 million in volume, 100% from YouTube. 2024, 20 million in volume, all from YouTube. He does nothing else. No cold calls, no other social media, nothing. Just YouTube. The one that blew me away, January of this year, I haven't asked him in February. Last month, he was tracking $75 million all from YouTube. This is 2 years in 1 month. He's become they're tracking over 2 million in volume. And guys, we have a full-blown training on that. Again, hit up either one of us if you'd like to know more about that. There is a little bit of a cost to it, but the value is off the chart. We'd be more than happy to share that with you. So,
and I think, what I get from that is not only the video and the YouTube, but consistency, Sean. A lot of people will get right there on the edge of success and not. You've got to commit to a year. You've got to commit to a year. When you are doing a new lead source, when you are doing something new, a new CRM, playing off on social media, you've got to commit to that year because it is about consistency. The more people see you, the more they trust you and believe you.
Yeah. And the same with like us releasing this every Wednesday, what I've learned on Facebook, you guys, the algorithms, if you're going to be releasing videos every week, same day, same time, somehow it helps with the algorithms and all that. And Andy goes through all the detail. He even tells you what to say in the beginning of a video, what to say at the end, so that, again, it gets more traction online. So all that kind of stuff is in those trainings. Yeah. Yes. All right. Our last question here, gang. Many agents struggle with scaling their business beyond just being a solo producer. How did you transition from being an agent to building and leading the Hatmaker Homes? And what advice would you give to agents looking to build a team?
So when you build a team, be sure that you're going to give them leads, but be sure that you're going to give them something to follow. Don't be struggling yourself, and be ready for it. be ready
So
for
let me
it.
ask you a question though, because that's a very serious question where a lot of people I've heard people wanting to start a team because their mindset's going, if I could get somebody else to do it and I could get overrides, but yet they don't have enough leads for themselves. So that sounds so obvious, but guys, I've always heard until you're doing at least 30 plus transactions a year and to get to where you can't handle it, you don't need to be bringing on a team person to give leads to until you can't handle the leads you have. Do you
Exactly.
mind being transparent with the group? I know you're buying leads today. Let's go back to when you first started to form this traditional team.
Okay.
Were they overflow leads that you were just creating on your own, or did you immediately bring on a team member and started to buy leads, or did you just have overflow leads to begin with to funnel to them?
Okay. So so my referral business has been great ever since year one, but when I saw the market start drift in 2022, I will say that I bought some lead sources and I shared it out with my organization. Didn't have a thought about a team. Randy came to me and said, because there were so many people that were coming to us and asking us questions in our community, in different brokerages, from different areas, and a few from out of state, and asking us all these questions. I did not know the value of a team, but it has been incredible, not just for Randy and I, but for the team. They liked the closer culture, even though, Sean, I just told you, we do trainings together in the organization. They needed more, and they needed help with leads. So a lot of times I seen that I was getting too busy to do it. I could, just yesterday, I could have had 4 people showing for me at 2:00. I had a 2:00 showing, and then, that 4 other clients needed me at 2:00. So when I started getting that busy and I was having to bump and make excuses, I said, you know what? I'm going to bring on a few agents, and they were just going to be showing agents is what they were going to be. But then Randy said, why don't we let them just do the transactions? So what I did is I trained a TC that was designated to us.
Okay.
And I brought 3 in. I trained them. We got them all trained. They were popping off good. We brought 3 more on, got them trained. Then we started buying leads and we started feeding them. So like I told you, I do a Hatmaker Hustle every morning. We do training through Hatmaker Business Messenger. And we give them the support. Like my assistant and my driver right now are hanging signs for their open houses. So we give them the support that they need to be successful. And they hear my words saying, hey, you got this, go, because the confidence level ain't there. Maybe they didn't know enough people like I did when I joined. I have always been in this community. I've got a little bit of an advantage. We're not going to sugarcoat that. I grew up here. I love this place. Yeah. And it shows every time I speak about my house, So I think that as we grew, then I started saying, okay, they need this many leads because I don't want them to compete with each other. I want us to open up and welcome the new people in and not worry about, is this going to affect my what goes in my refrigerator? Yeah. So I didn't want that, competition. Yeah.
I gotcha. So share with the team or share with anybody who might be watching the size of your traditional team. And I think you said 78 in your organization. Yeah. Is your team part of that 78 within that 78, or is that 78 separate from your traditional?
I've got a few that aren't in my organization. I really like for them to be in my organization. And to be honest with you, a lot of team members say, oh, you let new agents come in. I love when new agents come in. I love it. I was a new agent. What if someone had said that about me? I closed 36 deals my first year, 68 my next. So, what if someone didn't believe in me? What if I hadn't spoken to you, Sean, and met you at I met you, I was going through real estate school when I met you. And Jay also. So I was going through real estate. And what if I didn't plug into those trainings y'all were doing? all of those webinars you were supporting. I was on there all the time. Jay was like, who is this girl?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you felt the same way, because I was on all of them. I wanted to know the company inside and out. I wanted to be trained. And anytime I've had a question, I do not have to ask anyone. I go to the archives, I put in what I need, and it pulls up documentation.
Yeah.
I didn't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
I just borrowed y'all's knowledge, your belief, and did it. And I think that a lot of it is confidence and mindset. A lot of people say, oh, I could never be as confident as you. Well, I'm not really that confident. I just know that I want better for the people that get in my life.
I love it. All about the people. Just continue to provide value. That is awesome. Once we get ready to pull this into a close, is there anything you would like to add at all, just to the audience out there, that could provide value to them, or if they wanted to connect with you, or anything like that? Anything last thing you'd like to do in some closing?
Yes, I would actually like to say that it would be very beneficial for you to have the AI training that you sent me. I would love for us to be able to give that for free, Sean, on this video. It has helped me tremendously. And it's kind of opened up the whole, what can it do for me? And it's also, and I love this part, because I am just a simple country girl, it's also quieted my fears about using the system.
Yeah.
So I like that it's quieted. Is this going to take over my job? It's quieted all those fears of, is my information going to get out there? He really does a thorough job of that. And I think that the one nugget that I want to leave them with is, when you hear some good information on the trainings, it's not going to help your business unless you get your feet active and you do them, and you're consistent. Consistent. You got to give it time to take root.
You got it. And to answer the question, absolutely. So if you've hung till the very end of this, we have now he's one of the most sought after AI trainers for realtors in the entire world. And his name is Nick Krim. You can go directly to him, but you have to pay a fee to go through his training, all that. He comes to the Freedom Team because he pours into us every single month. You don't have to pay for that. We are so blessed. Those 8 trainings he's put together, he has a course, I'm sure you're aware of this, Fhonda, where you can get AI certified. So he's been doing this since 23. He had to tell you how powerful this is for the audience who's still with us right now. People that have gone through and got certified, he's almost has 1,000 agents certified now across the country. One of the agents who got certified in 2023, they were like you. I don't think they're doing quite your production. I think they were doing $200,000 to $300,000 what they were making production, still doing very well. Right. Went through the AI certification course with Nick in 23. Set a goal with Nick in 2024. This one individual solo agent who went through all the training, started to implement it all. He set a goal to do $1 million in GCI last year. By June, Fhonda, he had 700,000 in GCI. I haven't asked Nick what that story, how it wrapped up, but he goes through and he keeps saying, basically, here's the bottom line. He goes, guys, I have agents that are certified with me now, solo agents that are out producing independent brokerages and teams in their local market by simply using not just Chat GPT, but he even shows you how to take that to another level. But he's got 5, 6, 7 other ones he pulls together. Don't let it overwhelm you, because you can take each one of these videos. I just 2-screen it, right? And I'll open up the video and I'll just go play, and then I'll pause it, go implement that. Play, pause, go implement that. It may take you 2 hours to go through, but once you got that set up, guys, you start to buy hours back. So do not let AI scare you. But if you want that information directly from one of the best trainers in the country, hit up Fhonda. I'd be more than happy. We now have 8 hours of solid AI training, and they build upon each other. It's truly amazing. It's helped me tremendously in the last 6 months.
Well, and that's what I've been doing, is listening to it and then going on and implementing it. And if I have to rewatch it, I show forgiveness to myself. So if they're still watching, I love that you're going to give that out, because I'm also going to get certified. I've decided,
Awesome.
I mean, even though it is a charge, I think that would be very good, because I make all the decisions. Randy supports every decision I make, but I make all the decisions for Hatmaker Homes. And like I told you, I build it. And to me, it's more important than EXP.
Oh, absolutely.
To me, it's more important than the Freedom Team. So build something big. That's right.
Absolutely. So,
Absolutely.
Fhonda, we are so excited you came on the show. I can't thank you enough to be doing almost 100 transactions. Again, I don't know if that's 1% of the agents in the country. So unbelievable. Praise God. What you've done is truly amazing. You're impacting so many families and clients, and now you're doing it with agents as well. So, guys, if you want somebody you could team up with, she's part of this Freedom Team, reach out to Fhonda. Even if it's just being part of her group across the country, that lady has got so much value to provide. Then you'd be a part of the Freedom Team, part of VXP. That's totally optional. You can just take the value that we're offering right now with those different videos. Be more than happy to send you. They've helped us tremendously. We'll give that for free. If you want further info, reach out to either one of us, and we'd be more than happy to jump on a Zoom, one-on-one, whatever it be. Zero pressure. More just understand about you, your business. Where are your challenges? What could we help with? We just want to be real and raw. What can we do to help you grow your business? So thank you again, Fhonda. We're going to wrap this up. Let me do a quick little outro video, and we will wrap this up. So thank you so much, dear. Here we go.
Thank you.